Hello, what's going on, you guys? My name is Queen K, and this is a little segment I like to call Crowning Convos with me, obviously, because my name is Queen K. But today we have Top Badge Cocomellon here with us. She's starting us off with this interview process, so I'm just going to ask them some questions about their content creator journeys, the highs, the lows, even some breakthroughs, and so maybe some fun stuff that maybe you might know, you may not know. I don't know. We're going to figure it out here shortly. But hello, Miss Cocomellon. How you doing?
I am wonderful.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much again for being here. So, like I said, big top badge, Cocomellon. So, just in case you didn't know, I got a little free information about my girl. She on the Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and she's obviously on Tagged. She has some great shows called Slang with Me, right? Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a featured show, okay, Coco's Lyric Master. There's also Sundays, 11 p.m. Eastern. I think she really likes the 11s, okay? We 11 in the morning. 11, 11 in the morning, 11 at night. Okay, got it. Okay, great, great, great. But yes, so I would love for you to start us off. First question I want to ask you is kind of what started your journey as a content creator? What started that journey for you?
Well, I was trying to find something to do on the app other than just talking with people. So I've been just kind of exploring, looking what other people are doing, looking at other feature shows, trying to see like how would I fit in this puzzle here? So I started doing little shows like Name That Tune, and I started drawing an audience. So I noticed, like when I do certain things, there, people started coming. I was like, well, maybe I can do, something else. So I decided after a while, once someone gave me Slang with Me, which it used to be a feature show,
Okay.
and they entrusted it with me when they left. And then,
Okay.
yeah, but then we made it unfeatured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for other
Gotcha,
reasons.
gotcha,
But
gotcha.
yeah, so then I decided, well, I wanted a show of my own that I created that wasn't, gave to me.
Right.
Like I
Makes sense.
wanted my own thing. So um pitched it
Mhm.
and it was born. Yes.
History. So that's a great. I love how you explain, like you said, the way you started. So now, kind of fast forwarding to now, since you just told us how you began, has your why changed? Do you feel like your why you stream has changed as of recently? Do you still stream for the same reasons, or anything like that? What do you think?
Actually, it's kind of making the purpose of why I'm on the app even more better. Yeah. So it's now that I have a kind of like a new platform.
Okay.
So now I have a bigger audience,
Mhm.
and then there's other things that I can introduce into there. So
Mm.
now I have a mixing pot versus when I first started, I just had a selective audience.
Okay, I like that. I like that. And as you know, girl, being the top badge is not easy. So kudos to you on doing your thing. Okay, for sure, for sure. So let me pick your brain a little bit more here as we keep going, keep things rolling. So, what are some challenges that you feel have crowned you with strength as a content creator? So, as the things you went through, of course, we all have challenges, things we are trying to overcome, things that come up that we may know is going to come up, we may not know. But what kind of challenges you feel like made you stronger on your content creator journey?
Trying to find new content.
That's a good one, though. That's a
I,
great one. Yeah.
I mean, because after a while, if you keep doing the same thing and then people see that expectation, people are like, oh, this is boring. Or I've already did this. So you have to always try to figure out something new or different to do to keep and retain your audience.
Yes. Yes.
So for me, that's a little challenging because, especially with a quiz show, like, hey, it's just like questions. How do I do this? So, you have to start thinking outside the box of how can I make this, even though this is a trivia show, make it where people will continually want to be a part of it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think too, to kind of add on what you're saying too, I'm pretty sure even just like finding stuff for your audience that works for your audience too, right? Because like you said, trying to find the content, yes, but also does it actually work with your audience? Because again, you can see something and be like, okay, I'm gonna do a variation of that, and then you try it, and then you with your audience, and they're just like, didn't really stick like you thought. So either you have to like scrap it, go to the drawing board again, and things like that. So I think that's a great one for sure. Fresh, new, exciting content that gets people coming back. Absolutely. So that's great. Definitely some great answers there. Let's go with this one here. So how do you deal with pressure, okay, with pressure to perform, stay relevant, or grow numbers? Because we do kind of have to do a mixture of all those things as you do, because it's true, the app is always changing. It's new faces, new things that come up, maybe new rules, for things like that. But how do you deal with that?
First of all, you got to be humble. You got to remember you had a beginning to all of this. So a lot of times what happens to people is when something starts, when you do your content create, it's new, it's innovative, and everybody's on board. But after a while, it's like, okay, you're not the newest thing in town no more. And it's like, okay, so what do I do? What am I going to do? But the thing is, always don't think because it's great now that, a year down from there, you have to come back and say, okay, maybe I need to do this, or let me revamp or reformat what I'm doing. So I think it's just important to always kind of check in with yourself. And for me, I kind of do what I call a market survey. So what I do is I kind of get feedback from people that's been on the show, like, hey, what did you like, what you didn't like? These things help because some people are like, oh, well, I didn't like that because that was too far back. That was before I was born, things like that. And it was like, okay, well, maybe I need to bring it up to date, Or and there are some people will be like, well, I don't like the way you did those questions. So like if I get enough of that, like, well, maybe they don't like this. So maybe I need to, change the format of the questioning. So it's just like getting feedback, and that's really powerful because it kind of lets you know where you need to, where you need your challenges and where you're doing good at.
Right, absolutely, for sure. Like you said, definitely for the relevancy part. Like I said, new faces, new things, new gifting, things like that, challenges that we have each week, as you know. So definitely trying to make sure you do that. And I really love that advice you gave about the market survey, asking the people on the show, how did you like it? I think it's very important to get that feedback from people, right? Because they might be able to tell you something you didn't think of, and you just be like, oh, okay, that's a great idea. Let me incorporate that into the next one. So really good stuff, girl. You got some good tea. You got some good tea, girl. We enjoying this tea. I love it. All right, so this next one I would love to ask you. Okay, so when did you first realize your voice had influence in the live space? When did you kind of figure out, like, you know what, this is working for me? Was there a particular stream? Was it a group of people who came and kind of said something to you? Kind of how did you realize that for the first time?
Well, what it was is when I first got back on the app, because when I first got on the app, it was no type of live whatsoever. So when I got back on the app, I ran across a top badge. Things didn't go like it was supposed to. And I got a little discouraged. So somebody was like, instead of you trying to be up under somebody, just do whatever you want to do. So I'm like, okay, I don't even know what that is. So I'm like, what is that? I don't know what that means. So, just by talking with people and just trying new different things, I think when I got to my first millie, is where I realized, oh, people actually pay attention to what I'm talking about. Okay, well, maybe I need to try to do this a little more. Yeah, so I started trying to make things and create things to bring more of an audience. And so the more I did that, the more they're like, oh, you're really good at this. Like, so I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to do a little more, So I just continually to just keep, doing different things, trial and error. And I kind of figured out, hey, I'm pretty good at this. So
I like that. First millie. First millie is always a vibe. So anytime you get that first millie, and it just seems like it's easier after that. Do you agree? Like once you hit that first millie, do you think it's like easier after that? Because I don't know why. Why is it the first millie? It seems to do that.
Because people take you more seriously. See, before you got the millie, they don't know if you just here for a good time or a long time. But once they see you with doing the millie and then they start seeing you progressing, they're like, oh, well, maybe I can stick around, because people are looking for that. They're looking for consistency. So, once they see that you got that point, they they kind of you got a buy-in now.
Right. Okay.
So those are your stakeholders.
Right.
So
Makes
you,
sense.
yeah.
Like an investment.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, look, if I'm going to invest in you, okay, I got to make sure you're doing this thing and you're going to be here.
Exactly.
I definitely agree with that. 100%. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely, for sure, for sure. Okay, well, great answers, of course, like you said. So, next question I have for you, I definitely want to ask. So, what would be, or what you could think of so far, what has been your most memorable moment with your community so far? So, the community you've built, the people that's like Cocomellon team, Cocomellon. What is that most memorable moment? You're just like, oh my God, this is impact. I'm making change. I mean something to some people. What would that be for you?
My top hat.
Of course.
I mean, but the reason why I say that is because I kept saying to myself, I'm not no top hat. What are y'all talking about? Like,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Yeah.
But they're like, you are, because you're bringing change, and that's what they're wanting. They, you're a role model. You are very consistent. Like, why not? So it was like I felt like it was a win. Like, yes, people are finally paying attention to me. I finally got a platform where people are actually listening to me.
Absolutely.
It's very humbling.
That top edge moment, girl, like you're right. It's just nothing like it, because you get up there, you talk to Chris Casper, one of the admins on the platform, and he's all excited and have these puns he does, only he can do. And you get up there, and for some reason, it just seems like did you blink out? Because I know for me, when it was my time to get it, I feel like I blinked out a little bit, because everything I knew I was going to say, I was like, forgot all of it. Did you do the same thing?
I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
If it was not for the fact that I had to do this live and here at Live Fest, I think I wouldn't have blinked out. But it's the fact that I got walked up there and they're like, "This is Cocomellon." I'm like,
oh, that's right. You did get it at Live Fest. Oh my God.
yeah, I'm one of the first top badgers to get it live at Live Fest.
Girl, not a lot of people can say that. So, I mean, so let's talk about that a little bit. So once you got that, it sounds like a crowning moment for sure when you say that, right? Definitely a crowning achievement moment for you right there. So once you got that badge, they're pulling you up, walking you down there, and it's in person. Everyone's screaming Cocomellon, and you're talking and you're giving an interview and things like that, and then you go on. How did you feel after that? Once you walked away, what was the feeling after that?
I mean, it was just shocking. Like, y'all picked me of everybody. I mean, because you have you have people that's like very influential in other ways on the app. So I'm like, oh, this country girl y'all like. I like that y'all like the country girl. So that's a win for the country girls.
Absolutely. And you stay true to yourself, and that's what's important, right? Making sure you're not trying to be someone else, and when you do that, the right people find you. That's the beautiful thing about it too, is that you're just like, you know what? As long as I stay in my lane with the people that I know is going to like me for me, that's what matters. And when you find those people, it's nothing like it. To find people that genuinely like you for you. So that's great. That's really, really awesome. So got a few more questions for you, girl. This is going good, girl. You're giving me some tea and some good questions, okay? And I like this. So I do have this particular question for you. So what boundaries or routines help you protect your peace while being public? So you're in the public eye because you're on the app and stuff. So I'm pretty sure there's some things you might not want everybody to be in your business, and that's okay. I understand that. Not everybody's supposed to be in your business. So what boundaries do you have in place to protect that?
First of all, I don't stream all the time. And the reason why is I have a lot of life going on because I'm at home. And the last thing I need is being scrutinized because, oh, she did this or whatever. I have kids, I have a job. So for me, just restricting the time that I have, you get just enough of my life to kind of know she has a life, but not enough to be sitting around her like some of these celebrities and you're all in their face every 5 minutes.
Right.
Every little thing they do, every girlfriend, boyfriend, and everything else that's going on with them, you got to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
We're not doing all of that.
Right. And I know, it's, like you said, definitely making sure when it's time for me to stream, I'm here. Other than that, that means that I'm off handling business, because I know sometimes people like to say, like in real life, we're not on there. But honestly, Tag is technically real life. But at the same time, I get it, because some people may have that particular life on live. And then once they get off live, then it's something different, right? So being sure to know that means that, look, if I'm off of here, line in the drawing in the sand, don't D&D. Don't talk to me right now. So I think it's very important to have those things because being in the public space, again, it's just important to let people know that, we appreciate your support and everything like that, but it's also good to also respect the privacy. So that's great. That's great. So I did ask for some of these fun facts, and this is very interesting for sure. So loves bowling is something that you mentioned. So are you like a bowling professional? Are you like, if we go bowling right now, you going to like clean house or no?
No, I'm probably the worst bowler in the world. I'm just gonna be honest. But I just love just being able to try. For me, it's like if I could just get over that 100, I done accomplished something. And the gut, look, not putting the ball in the gutter. I mean, those are just little wins for me. For me, it's like a peaceful thing, like a person that goes fishing. It's kind of the same thing.
Awesome. Well, I'm not that good too, so don't be alone. Don't feel bad. It's okay. Awesome. And then too, you made doll houses at one point. That's interesting. Was it a hobby, or did you work for? Was that a job for you? What was?
No, it was a hobby. So the thing is, I always loved Barbie dolls. I always loved like building a community, and what I was trying to do for a while was like I was gonna build just a bunch of doll houses and make it like a community so that like when kids come over, because I have a lot of kids, that they can just look and see and play. And I was gonna make things interactive and stuff like that, but I wanted it to do it from the ground up, not just have something built, but I wanted to build it like from the shingles to everything. Like, so it was just something I like doing.
Awesome. That is wonderful. And then, of course, last but not least, interest of yours, building your brand. So I love that. So what is your brand? What would you say in a few words? What is Cocomellon's brand?
Is basically me. It's my personality. It's who I am. So it's more like the peacekeeping, calmness. It's the persona that I wish that I could have everywhere.
Okay. Wish that you can have everywhere. Why do you say that? When you say everywhere, what do you mean? So what places do you feel you may not have that piece?
Oh, I can't do that at work. I'm an IT manager. I absolutely have to put that new hat on and make them know who is the boss, basically. So I don't get to be like most of the time I'm not the good person. I'm usually the person that's like, okay, step into my office, or okay, I have to build a directive. We're gonna have to do some things. So here I can just be the silly, funny me, and the brand is just about being yourself. That's the brand. The whole brand is just about, and that's whatever that is to you. So it doesn't mean you have to be like me, all bubbly and stuff. That just means, if you want to pursue something, then you pursue it, but pursue it because you want to, and do it to the best of your abilities.
I love that. What a wonderful brand. Well, I want to say thank you so much again for being here. And before we wrap this up, so again, you was on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So what are your handles, if you don't mind sharing with us on those platforms so we can follow you?
All right, most of them are going to be Cocomellon, but okay, so Instagram is Cocomellon_tag. TikTok is Cocomellon_tag.
I like the consistency.
I think with YouTube, it's just Cocomellon. Facebook, it's my government name.
Okay.
We'll disclose that. So yeah. We'll eventually have a Cocomellon brand. That's why we're building the brand.
Yes, I like that. Come on. Okay, to be determined. Well, yeah, thank you so much again for being here with us on Crowning Conversations. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.